Hi, I'm Dan Plesac, former 18-year Major League Baseball player. Played with the Cubs, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. My life after baseball has been pretty much around standardbred racehorses. Why don't you spend a day with me at my farm at the 3-Up, 3-Down farm? One of my former teammates, Charlie O'Brien, always made fun of the 3-Up, 3-Down farm. He calls me once every offseason and said, "You should have named it Ball 4 Stable." He said, "Hell, you didn't know what a 3-Up, 3-Down inning was. It should have been Ball 4 Stable." So spend a day with me at 3-Up, 3-Down farm. This is Stanley Stinkeytoes. Actually, he's had a name change. When I bought Stanley, his name was Cover Up Hanover, but there's a little bit, I try to use either a baseball slogan or something from my personal life. And my youngest daughter, Natalie, when I would put her to bed at night, we would always, have little stupid names, and she would call me Stanley. And I would say, "What are you calling me Stanley?" She goes, "You're Stanley Stinkeytoes." And so I've always had that in the back of my mind, like to save a name for something that was funny, either in my personal life or with baseball. So I decided to change Cover Up Hanover's name to Stanley Stinkeytoes. His name was just changed 3 weeks ago. So he's not quite answering to Stanley yet. He's used to Cover Up. But anyway, so this is Stanley Stinkeytoes.
How old is Stanley?
Stanley is a 2-year-old. He is a Canadian bred horse. The dad of Stanley Stinkeytoes is a horse by the name of No Pan Intended, who is one of the best racehorses probably in the last 10 or 15 years. So he's a very good bred horse. He's a small horse, but so best case scenario for Stanley is he'll be racing this summer, hopefully around July or August. Hopefully he'll be a summertime horse for me. But he's a nice horse.
Does he like hockey?
He loves hockey since he's a Canadian bred. Actually, I was thinking of changing his name to One Timer.
The girls might get offended.
Exactly. One and done. Patient number 2 is Ronnie Woo Woo. For those of you not familiar with the Chicago sports scene, and Ronnie's got a picture of his namesake right here. Ronnie Woo Woo is one of the infamous Cub fans who's pretty much self-proclaimed the best Cub fan in the world. He goes to every ball game. He's really quite a pain in the ass. If you've ever been to a Cub game and you're hearing a noise of Cubs, woo, Cubs, woo, standing on Waveland Avenue before the game, it's Ronnie Woo Woo. And when you play for the Cubs like I did for 2 years, you kind of get a chuckle with Ronnie Woo Woo the first few times you meet him. But then when you're out in batting practice in the morning in July and August and you're tired and the schedule's about 100 games into the season and you're tired and you're standing out there in 90-degree weather during batting practice and you hear a guy going, "Cubs, woo, Cubs, woo," you want to tell him, there's quite a few times guys just want to scream and tell him to shut up, and that's enough already, Ronnie, but he does it nonstop. So that's how I came up with the name Ronnie Woo Woo. Ronnie has raced 4 times. He has a win, a second, a fourth, and a sixth. I have a lot of hopes for Ronnie. Ronnie's been a classic overachiever. When I bought Ronnie, he was just kind of one of those sentimental buys. He's a very well-bred horse, but a very small yearling when I bought him. Probably explains why I only paid $8,000 for him, but he's probably worth 6 or 7 times what I paid for him right now. So he's been an overachiever. He loves what he's doing. I would classify Ronnie, he's not quite a Derek Jeter type player. He's more of a David Eckstein, kind of a blue collar grinder kind of guy, but so he's my David Eckstein.